double action. Left duck, left yellow duck, small duck. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to have a double tabletop review of two revolver. Here we have a Taurus model 65 revolver and a Smith & Wesson model 686 plus revolver. But I pretty much turned this into a 686 Deluxe because I took out the grip that came with the 686 Plus, which is a rubber grip. Is not very aesthetically pleasing to look at, so I opted out for a Smith & Wesson grips of the deluxe version. So pretty much, but the revolver is the same. I mean, functionality, nothing has changed from even the 3 to 4 inch barrel Smith & Wesson 686 to 6-inch this revolver. I believe they have one in 8-inch, but we're gonna get to that later on. And the Taurus, this one came with a 4-inch barrel. I'm not sure if they have any other size barrel, but this one came with a 4-inch barrel. And the revolver came a long way. It was patented by Samuel Colt, 1936. And at the time, Colt, Smith & Wesson, they are two top-tier revolver. And as time passed, you have other companies coming in, like Taurus here, headquarter, I believe, factory is in Brazil. And of course, Smith & Wesson is an American company, made in America. America, baby, America. And of course, anything made in America is gonna say quality, durability, pretty much everything. But don't just blow off on something like the Taurus Model 65 here. Very durable, reliable as well. However, let's get to the philosophy of use. We're gonna do this nothing fancy style tabletop review. So let's get into the philosophy of use of these revolver. What exactly are you buying these for? You need to look in a realistic way. Are you buying this for home defense? Are you concealed carrying this? I mean, you have a lot of great choice in terms of concealment, and these aren't exactly very concealable. They're big, bulky, and heavy. I mean, if you compare something to the Springfield Hellcat I got here, it's just a night and day in terms of size. As you can see here, 11 plus 1 round of 9mm, 7 round of 357 Magnum. So, like firepower, I mean, give and take, pretty much this is a much better handy package than something like this or even the Taurus. However, you can opt out for something a little bit smaller if you want to conceal carry revolver, something like the Smith & Wesson bodyguard right here. I bought this one for my mom and she loved it. But the thing is, with revolver, the smaller they are, the more recoil they have. Even though the 38 Special plus P, it's not really, it doesn't have a lot of recoil. But if you shoot like a small pistol, it's, it's very jumpy. So Yeah, if you want to, these are not for concealment, to be honest. These are for like maybe a fun trip to the range or home defense. I mean, that's the reason people bought this for home defense because of its reliability. Smith and Wesson, even Taurus, you know, they known for their reliability, and there's not a lot of way a revolver can fail unless you know something's wrong with the cylinder, and that's the reason they call this a revolver because the cylinder is revolving around, and for whatever reason, if you try to block the cylinder from revolving, then you could have a failure. So every time you shoot a revolver, I wouldn't recommend you put your hand or any kind of object like right next to a cylinder. Some people don't know that, and you know they make all kind of mistake, especially first time shooter in the range. I see them make a lot of mistake. Even the people that I took out to the range sometime. My brother-in-law. One time, the first time he shoot a revolver, his hand was some like holding the cylinder. It's just very weird. I mean, yeah. So anyway, so just notice that do not put your finger, hand, or whatever object next to the cylinder when you're firing the gun. Also, you know, this is a 357 Magnum, so the round's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful, so you don't want to put your finger out uh, anywhere near the crevices, so that the hot powder, the hot powder from the cartridge doesn't burn you up. So yeah, when you shoot the revolver, make sure your hand and finger are away from all the crevices that gonna eject some hot powder at you. So keep that in mind. Beautiful, beautiful revolver. And my sister and I, last last couple of weeks or so, we went to the range, shoot point blank, and we test this out to see how it goes. And we both love it. We both love and hate these revolver. So let's talk about size, weight, and finish. So both of these revolver, they are both stainless steel, and this is polished stainless steel on the Smith & Wesson. I think this is the only color choice you have, just polished stainless steel. And on the Taurus, is it's also stainless steel, but you have a choice of two color: the matte stainless, which is this color, or the matte oxide color, the black oxide color. So yeah, silver or black. So you have two choice. But as far as the Smith & Wesson 686 go, I believe you can only get polished stainless steel. But I could be wrong. I mean, yeah. They have like tons of different model for you to choose from. So before you make a purchase, make sure you do a little bit of research on the barrel length, what is right for you. Here we have a 6-inch barrel and a 4-inch barrel. And if you really want to open carry, I would recommend like at least as small as a 4-inch barrel. I believe they do have 1 and 3-inch, but you know, like you might as well just carry a modern firearm instead. These things are just you're very limited in terms of rounds. You're talking about only 7 round for the Smith & Wesson and 6 round for the Taurus, and you can have a choice of something like this: a Glock 17, which is 17 round, or you can just go full commando with a 33 round magazines. Depending on where you live, of course. They also make this with a 10 round magazine for those of you who live in a not so free state. So anyway, that's enough for philosophy views and whatnot. So the size, we're talking about size. These are medium size, medium frame size, medium to large frame size, and the weights. The weights, yes. This is 2 pounds 5 ounces, and this is 2 pounds 15 ounces for Smith and Wesson. And oh yeah, I did upgrade to a. Okay, now we're gonna try that one. Give me 1 second. Come on, come on, come on, camera. Okay, I did upgrade the Smith and Wesson sight to fiber optic, so it's much brighter in the daytime. The default sight that it came with, I just did really like it. It's just a piece of metal with a red paint on it, and you know, the fiber optic sight you can find one on eBay, Amazon, various gun places for like $30-$35. So, but be aware that it's a little bit of difficult to install these sight, because I tried to drill it and the tip of the drill broke in the rope pin hole of the sight. So I started to drill the other side and it broke in as well. But surprisingly, it held up pretty well. So it's not exactly going straight through, but it's held together by the the drill bit. Yeah, that's what you get for a low quality drill bit. So anyway, if you're not like experienced gunsmith or something, bring it to a gunsmith. They'll probably charge you like, I don't know, $100 to install the sight or so. However, the sight on the Taurus is not the best thing in the world. It's just a metal post. See, let's zoom this in. So the sight on the Taurus is just, yeah, a metal post, and this metal post is silver, and I find it very hard to shoot in the indoor range because it's kind of blending in the silver. The overall sight, the silver is kind of blending in. What I did is just took some hobby gray paint, red paint, and just paint that sucker to be more visible at indoor range or even outdoor. I mean, just imagine the whole thing is silver, and during daytime, it really reflect lights straight into your eye. So that's why you don't want, you know, you want to paint up the sight, and it's not movable too. So you get what you pay for. The Taurus, of course, is cheaper. We're gonna cover that in a while. And it's non-removable sight, non-adjustable sight, non-adjustable rear sight as well. So that's the Taurus. So we finished with the size, weight, and color finishes. Like seriously, look at this. You want to conceal a revolver? Get something like the Smith and Wesson bodyguard, or something like a Springfield Hellcat like this. It's much better in my opinion. But if you want a home defense weapon that's a little bit more powerful than the 9mm, I think this is a great choice. Let's go to firepower. So the 357 Magnum, how powerful is this, man? Okay, here's a 357 Magnum. That's 125 grain Hornady. Here is a 38 Special plus P, 125 grain Hornady. Here is a 9mm, 115 grain Winchester. Let's put this right here. Here's a 10mm, 175 grain. And just for laugh and giggles, here is a 22 long rifle. Yes. Believe it or not, some people do have a 22 long rifle for defense. I guess I don't know. I think that's better than a baseball bat, I guess. But anyway, you know, I wouldn't go anything smaller than a 9mm. Here's a 10mm. Give me 1 second. Check out this Microtech knife, Ultratech, flat dark earth with a G10 grip, in short for plastic. So we have a 22 long rifle. We have a 9mm, 10mm, 38 special, and your 357 Magnum. So yeah, this pretty much outperformed all of this. 357 Magnum. It also have a little bit more kick than your 10mm, but the 10mm is better than the 38 special. Although you can see the 38 special is a little bit longer, but the 10mm is a little bit wider, and you know it had a bigger punch to it. Accuracy. So how accurate are this gun? To be honest, these are modern gun, and it's really up to the shooter. It's really up to the people who use the gun. Are you accurate? Most of the time, you don't have to worry about modern gun. To be honest, I mean, the guns are more accurate than a shooter. Depending on who you're talking about, but most of the time, you know, the gun fairly accurate compared to a shooter. So don't worry about how accurate these are. But if I have to choose one in terms of accuracy, it has to be the Smith & Wesson 686 here, because you know I mean just look at the sight. You have a adjustable sight, rear sight, and a fiber optic front. It's just so much easier to see than this pretty lame duck post, silver post, and pretty much a non-existent rear sight. It just blends in so much with the environment that makes it hard to get your target on sight. So the accuracy, don't worry about it. They're both accurate gun. Train them, train with them, train often, and no matter what gun you have, it is up to you in terms of accuracy. Control, trigger, sights, and feel. Let's go with the control. How easy it is to control this gun. Well, it's a 357 Magnum. For those of you who never shot it before, but you have shot 9mm, take that kind of firepower times 2 for a 357 Magnum. It's gonna jump a little bit, just a little bit, not so much that it's gonna freak you out. So you don't have to worry about the control of neither of this firearm. But now the thing is that since I changed the rubber grip to the wood grip, to me it doesn't matter which grip I use. I mean, I can control both of these easily, but for controllability, I would recommend a rubber grip. You know, like if we're going to war or something like that, I would maybe, just maybe, switch out this wood grip to a rubber grip so that the control is better. And here you can see the rubber grip. It just held on by one screw. Same things for the wood grip on the Smith & Wesson, held on by one screw. I believe the Taurus is the same, held on by with just one screw. And both of these grip, they have aftermarket parts for it, so there's no shortages of the type of grip that you're gonna get in the aftermarket place. But the Smith and Wesson, you know, they've been around for a while, so they have much more accessory, much more grips, type of grip for this revolver. So yeah, let's go to the trigger. So how does this feel? Let's try it out. Put some snap cap in it. So at the range, for me, it's the Smith & Wesson is the trigger feels, especially the single stage trigger, feels heavenly. It's so light. Versus the two stage. So yeah, we'll put some snap cap and try that out. So the two stage is quite heavy. Obviously, a revolver two stage, oftentimes they're very heavy, and this doesn't have snap cap, but that's okay, you know, because this is a modern revolver, which means they do not have a hammer like your old revolver. This hammer hit the striker plate, and then that plate transferred to the striker, which hit the bullet and then ignite to the barrel, ignite the bullet casing, and you know, the bullet go through the barrel. So this is not your old Western revolver by any means, so it's fairly safe to even dry fire without a snap cap on. But I like to try with a snap cap on, just because, you know. And in terms of trigger feel, the Smith & Wesson is just so much better. It's just so much crisper. There's no creep at all. It just feels way much more premium. The double stage. Let's try out a single stage. So again, the Smith & Wesson feel much more smoother and crisper than the Taurus. Very smooth. By far the best single stage trigger there is. Actually, this feels just pretty much way better than any of my striker firearm. To be honest, the single stage on this is a dream. It could be better. It could be better. For some people, it could be better, but you know, like, this is very good. And you know, just to take out, there's absolutely no take out. It's just like this, and when you put your hand on it, it just activate the awesomeness. Same goes for the Taurus. But you know, there's a little bit of I have to say stiffness to the single stage on the Taurus. But anyway, let's go with let's take out our Lehman trigger pull gauge and see how heavy this trigger are. And it's pretty inconsistent in terms of measuring the trigger pull weight. It's just really difficult to measure the revolver pull weight, to be honest, because you have to keep the cylinder free of any snag and try to pull the trigger at the same time. Anyway, let's try the Smith & Wesson trigger. Let's see how it does. Let me let's try 3 pull, and let's average that up too. So double stage, it's kind of difficult to measure any revolver trigger, to be honest. It's just takes a little bit more. Let's see. How do I hold this? Okay, this should be good. Let's do this. Oh well, wait. Ready? And that's 7 pound, 15 ounce. Try it again. 5 pound, 2 ounce. So like I say, it's not very consistent. 5 pounds, 6 ounce. Let's try 2 more. 4 pound, 8 ounce. 1 more. 5 pound, 3 ounces. So the average around 5 pound, 10 ounces. It really depends on how you pull the trigger, to be honest. I mean, if you start to pull the trigger like right in the middle and up, it's gonna be much heavier. So if you pull the trigger kind of downward a little bit, you have more momentum, and you know, it's just much lighter. Anyway, but to be honest, I really don't like revolver trigger because it kind of forces your finger straight in the middle, which is the heaviest part to pull. So yeah, that's around 5 pound and 10 ounces. And sometimes, you know, just sometimes I get like 9 pounds in a different way, like something like this. If I let's clear that up. If I do something like this, I get a different result. 6 pound, 10 ounces. 5 pound, 2 ounces. 4 pound, 13 ounces. So yeah, the revolver, I mean, it's very inconsistent. The double action. Let's try this single action on the 686. Let's clear this up. And again, it's quite difficult to measure the single action as well because the trigger spring back right after you pull it. It could mess it up. It could mess up the pull weight. 1 pound, 4 ounce. Let's try that again. Let's try 3 times and average that up. 1 pound, 1 ounce. So that's a single trigger, single stage trigger. Single action, I mean. 1 pound, 7 ounce. So let's average that up. 1 pound and 4 ounce. Other time, sometime I measure like 2 pound. So 1 or 2 pound on a single stage trigger, single action trigger. What am I talking about? So single action trigger, which means you pull the hammer back and pull the trigger. Double action trigger, which means you just pull the trigger. So yeah, that single action trigger is just beautiful, beautiful on this Smith & Wesson. Let's try the Taurus. I never measured this before. I would expect it to be pretty heavy. Let's try the double stage trigger. Double action. Double stage. Okay, now let's see if this is gonna work. 4 pound, 14 ounce. 2 pound, 8 ounce. Again, very inconsistent. 3 pound, 4 ounce. Let's try it again. 2 pound, 6 ounce. 3 pound and 4 ounce. Yeah, it's very inconsistent measuring a revolver. Let's try the other way that I first try on the Smith & Wesson. So let's clear that up. Yeah, let's try this way. Come on. 4 pound, 5 ounce. 4 pound, 8 ounce, 4 pound, 11 ounce, 3 pound, 15 ounce. Let's average that up. That's 4 pound, 6 ounces. So that could change, you know. So technically, if the trigger on the Taurus is slightly lighter, that's great. That's great. At least the double action. Try that again. But the difference between the Taurus double action and the Smith & Wesson is that it's just much more crisper than the Taurus. It just feel a little bit mushy, even for a metal trigger. Feel a little bit mushy. But surprisingly, it's lighter, I guess. Let's try the single action. Let's see where that goes. Clear. Single action Taurus model 65. 3 pound, 2 ounce. 2 pounds, 6 ounce. 1 pound, 14 ounce. Average of 2 pounds, 7 ounce. So around 2 pound, much heavier than the Smith & Wesson 686. And you know what? I'm kind of surprised in terms of the pull weight of this two revolver. The Taurus is much lighter on a double action than the Smith & Wesson, and the Smith & Wesson is much lighter on the single action than the Taurus. But you know, if you happen to try both this trigger at the store or something, ask them to so you can try the trigger and see what you like. But I think I like the trigger on the Smith & Wesson better because, like I said, it's just much more smooth and you don't feel that mushiness. You don't feel that take up, but it's just a very solid wall compared to the Taurus. And you know, like the Taurus double action is a little bit lighter than Smith & Wesson, but the single action, yeah, it's just not as good. It's just not as good, not as smooth, not as crisp, and slightly heavier. So that is a trigger. The sight, I will tell you about the sight. You know, like I prefer the Smith & Wesson sight because, you know, I can change it out with anything I like. I believe they also made a Tridem sight for both front and rear sight for the Smith & Wesson 686. So you can change that out. Okay. So field strip. Can you field strip this revolver? I mean, the revolver is pretty reliable. You don't have to field strip it, but you could field strip it technically by taking out the grip with one screw and continue to clean the internal. But as far as the field stripping goes, the revolver is pretty simple, much simpler than your modern modern striker pistol. All you do is just press a button in both of this firearm. There's a button to you know, pop out your cylinder, take out your spent cases, and you know, just clean out each individual cylinder. Let's zoom that in a little bit. Okay. So yeah, field stripping, much easier than your modern pistol. after you finish firing, just clean it up with a brush, wipe it up with a towel, pretty easy, and easy access to the barrel as well. Put down a cleaning rod down the barrel, and you're done. Just wipe out everything that's dirty. But the hard part is, of course, taking this apart and clean the internal. That's the hard part. Clean and oil the internal. Maybe I'll do that sometime. After a couple of range time I have with this, I should do that. Oil up a little bit, clean up a little bit the internal. But you got a couple of screw that you can work with here on both revolver. Take out the grip first, and then take out some of the screw. The Taurus, same thing as well. I mean, the revolver, basically they have the same philosophy when it comes to cleaning. Beautiful. I love revolver. Although I'm like a modernized guy. I love modern stuff, modern firearm and stuff. But there's something about the revolver. It's just so beautiful. The way the mechanic work it's like a fine Swiss watch. Like it has to be precise in order for it to work properly. Let's go for the accessory and versatility. Can you do like customize this revolver? Well, there's not much you can do in terms of customizing revolver, especially the Taurus. Here, at best you can do is just change out the grip. You can't change out the sight, of course. It's all like welded in one piece. You can't do anything with this Taurus other than changing the grip. I could be wrong. They might make some weird attachment to the revolver, but I haven't seen that. I don't see anybody attaching a flashlight or a laser to a revolver, something like that. But if you're talking about something like this, Smith & Wesson bodyguard, it does have a laser. As you can see here, it does have a laser built right into the frame of the revolver. So it's kind of a specialized revolver. Some revolver grip, I believe they do have a laser in them. But I mean, come on. I mean, it's a revolver. If you really want a laser or flashlight, you buy a modern firearm. Something like a Glock and some kind of Glock or Springfield XDM and stuff like that, and just attach your light and laser on it. It's just much better. As far as the revolver goes, I don't see a lot of accessory for it. However, if you buy something like the Smith & Wesson 686 here, you can do a little bit more other than the grip. You can change out the rear side, the front side. They have a variety of sight that you can choose from. Yeah, just do a little bit of research on those. I think they're great as far as sights go, accessories go for a revolver, because I don't need to attach a whole bunch of crap in it. I mean, this is all you need. Just look how beautiful that is. I mean, what else do you want to change? Maybe line up the trigger a little bit. It could be done, but I wouldn't recommend it if you never do a trigger job before. Yeah, just bring it out to people who can do it. Anyway, let's go to value, durability, and reliability. Now, the value of this thing, you can find right now the price is like all over the place, because we got this overblown pandemic as we speak, and the price of the dealer as well as retailer it's just all over the place. I can't tell you a definite price on these right now, but right now you can find the Taurus for somewhere $400 to $500. Yeah, that's how wide of a gap we have right now in terms of price. So MSRP around 400, but a lot of places they charge close to $500, even more. And for the Smith and Wesson 686, you're looking around $700 MSRP, all the way to $800, and both of these are without tax. And if you pay tax, you're gonna pay more, like I do. Well, I pay exactly $842.39 for this Smith and Wesson 686 plus $78 for the grip. However, they do sell this Smith and Wesson 686 Deluxe model for around $800, believe it or not. MSRP, they're around $800. This whole thing, beside the sights, they're around $800. But you know, time is tough right now, and pretty much everything premium just flying off the shelf. It's really hard to find like top tier gun like the deluxe model of this. So you might want to buy the 686 plus model and just upgrade the grip. But you know, like if times get better, I'm sure you can find this model at around $800. But as it sit right now, with this rubbery grip, it's going for $800 in most places already. So yeah, you're paying a little bit extra for the wood grip, like I do. They also have a wood grip for this Taurus too, but this is my sister's revolver, so I won't be you know, changing anything. Besides, you know, it's easier for her to handle this rubber grip than it is to for a wood grip. And you know, let's say the internal a little bit, the stamping and stuff like that. So here we have a stamp made in Armas, made in Brazil. Taurus Armas, made in Brazil. Stamp where it is. So let's see the other side. We have a Taurus logo on the other side, and stamping Taurus International, manufactured Bainbridge, Georgia. And you have serial number and the model number. It's just so hard to do this. Model number 65. And on the barrel, you have a serial number. At the bottom of the barrel, you have the caliber, the 57 Magnum. And the great thing about the 357 Magnum is that it's compatible with 38 Special as well. So let's see this Smith & Wesson. So here you have a Smith & Wesson logo, which is pretty difficult to see on camera, but yeah, you're paying a premium for this. Yeah, because you know, pretty much $800. You're paying premium for the logo. So let's go to the barrel on this side. The Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum stamp on the side of the barrel. Let's go to the other side. The barrel is stamped with a Smith & Wesson name, and we have much more details. Made in America, right there, stamp it right there. And see the internal. The way you can tell the Smith & Wesson model, what model it is, you have to take out the cylinder, and inside you can see there we have a 686-6. The -6 means this is like, let's say it's the 6th generation. So you have the 686 without a dash, that's the 1st generation. Those are antique, so they're gonna go for a premium, thousands of dollars. And you know, this is pretty much a 6th or 7th generation. So every time you see a dash, the higher the number doesn't mean the more modern the 686 model is. But the thing is that you might want to, if you're really into Revolver, you might want to have the model without a dash. It's just it's way better. Closer look. You know why you're paying so much higher price for a Smith & Wesson or a Colt? This is the reason why you pay the high price. Listen to it. Okay, now listen to the Taurus. The poor man's revolver. Pretty stiff right there. Getting out the cylinder. Can cylinder out. So, if you can hear the difference, the Smith & Wesson sound way much better. It sound more premium because everything locks in place like it's supposed to, and the very positive sound compared to the Taurus. The Taurus sound kind of loosey, like it doesn't sound. Basically, you're talking about a Rolex watch versus a Timex. They both works fine, but like in terms of mechanism, just more advanced with the more expensive model. Okay, get this back to frame. So anyway, so yeah, we talk about the price, the durability. They both made of stainless steel, so very durable. And reliability, they both have good track records. 686, it's been used for a very long time. There are military and police that uses the 686, I believe, as well as the Taurus. So reliability, durability, I wouldn't doubt it. But if I have to pick one in terms of durability, I have to pick the Smith & Wesson 686. As you hear, you listen to the sound, it's beautiful. It's like music to your ear. That's why I like the Revolver so much. And you'll see the night and day in terms of the feel, the sound, the clicking from a much more expensive Revolver versus a okay Revolver. This is not like dirt cheap by any means. There are cheaper Revolver. I wouldn't trust those, to be honest. I mean, yeah, that's why there's a premium to a Smith & Wesson. Besides, it's made in America. America, baby. Everything is where it should be. And all the sound, it just sounds so right. So the track record, they're both pretty reliable Revolver. But if I choose one, again, this is my Revolver. This is my sister Revolver. The reason she bought this, the Revolver instead of your modern handgun, is that the modern handgun, the slide is a little bit heavy for a small frame woman. So, a small frame woman, and it's a little bit heavy. Let's say it's too heavy for them to pull back the slide to chamber in a round. That's why the Revolver is might be a little better for you ladies out there that doesn't have the upper body strength, the finger strength to rack the slide back. Same goes for the my mom's is Revolver, and it's just so much easier for her to just push the button a little bit, and the cylinder go out so she can load and unload the case, the bullet case. It's just so much easier, you know. It doesn't require a lot of strength, so that's why, you know, this might be a better option for the ladies. As for the guys, you know, like we love, you know, we love cool things, and Revolver is one of them, and it's just beautiful to look at, and mechanically it's beautiful. It's just it's a work of art, to be honest. I mean, it's a work of art. I mean, just look at it, you know. It's beautiful. Even your old antique revolver, they look beautiful as well. Uh, the mechanism, you know, they have changed over the year. So the more modern the revolver is, the better the mechanism is. I mean, I wouldn't want to walk around with the first model of the Colt's revolver. To be honest, it's not the most reliable thing in the world. So many things can go wrong with it, but you're looking at a modern revolver here, and it's yeah, it's very reliable. I I recommend neither of this. It comes down to uh what can you afford. It all comes down to what can you afford. $400 to $500 or $700 to $800. I doubt that anyone would sell this for $700 right now, considering the situation we're in. But yeah, $450 to $800. So what can you afford? Again, you know, if you buy this for home defense, honestly, I wouldn't cheap out on a home defense gun. If you buy this for home defense for the ladies, for the guys, you know, I recommend you get a semi-auto if you have some finger strength. But for the ladies, you know, this is easy for them to work with, and for us guy, we collect this because it's beautiful, and it also works as well. This is great for home defense, but I don't want to limit me to like 7 round or 6 round for the Taurus there. So as for me, I'm going to use a modern pistol for home defense instead of a revolver. But if revolver is readily available, then you know I have no problem choosing the revolver as a home defense weapon. Uh, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So what did you guys think about this revolver? Is it in your mind? Have you ever considered a revolver over a modern pistol, modern striker pistol? I hope I hope this review give you a little bit of details about this particular revolver. Uh, I mean, there are tons out there in the market, but this is a you know this is a two of most common used revolver that you can find in store. And yeah, what do you guys think of this revolver? Do you have one? How's it going? Also, I forgot one minor little details. Okay, now both of these revolver, they have a safety mechanism, which I do not recommend anybody using it. But it's up to you. You know, it's your choice. So the Taurus, they have a little hole right behind the hammer right here. They also include a little tools that you can lock the gun up. That means it can't fire anymore. So imagine if you lost that tool. I mean, that tool is fairly small. It's like a small little key that you stick it in there and turn. So I wouldn't recommend you locking any revolver up. And the Smith and Wesson also have a little keyhole right here. Yeah, have a keyhole right there. They'll give you a little tool to lock the revolver up, which means it won't fire. But you know, in an emergency, if you need the revolver quick, I mean, if it's at night, you're gonna stumble. Like, where you gonna, how you gonna, fit a little tool like that into that hole, that small hole, to unlock your revolver? I mean, yeah, it's a risky business, so I wouldn't recommend any locking up the revolver. But for people who are very paranoid about firearm, that's why you gotta train. No matter which firearm you bought, which gun you bought, you gotta go to the range, take some training. Training is safety. It's the ultimate safety, and you know what? No amount of safety built into a gun is gonna save you if you don't train with the guns. You need to train it. Uh, get your trigger discipline up there. I mean, do not touch your trigger unless you want to destroy something. Always have your trigger outside the trigger guard. I mean, so many new people just like they have the trigger in here while talking to you. I mean, even if you tell them to take your hand off the trigger, they, oh, I didn't touch the trigger, but I saw them have a trigger on their hand, so whatever. Have some discipline always. Finger outside the trigger guard. Unless you want to shoot something, then you put your trigger in here. So yeah, training. Get some training, guys. I know time's hard right now. It's really hard to get ammo. They cost an arm and a leg right now. 5, even 6, 8 times the price compared to last year. But anyway, just try a little bit. Wake up early to a gun store and get some ammo. Ask them where you can get your ammo. On my channel, I talk about that a lot, so you might want to subscribe for a lot of that kind of videos, and I hope you enjoy this review. It has been a very good review, at least for me, because I planned this for a very long time, but just doesn't have the time to put everything up. I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We're gonna have some more awesome review video, and I just to give you a preview of some of the gun that I have for review, so stay tuned. Next gun is gonna be a surprise. I haven't showed you guys this gun, but I do talk about it in my channel, but haven't showed you guys yet because I'm not finished building the gun yet. It's a modern striker fire. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. This is V for Crypto Vital. Hope to see you next time. Out. Metal duck. Right there.